I mean, there's obviously a lot of narratives that are fed in the media to to Westerners. Oh, you have a lot of camels in your country. Oh, there's a lot of sand. You live in the desert.
The most difficult part was when I was developing the curriculum for the design program here. I was looking at all the different curriculums in the region, and what struck me is that where's our history? And so I snuck in a course called History of Arab Graphic Design, and there was no history of Arab graphic design in 2011 when I was writing the program. And I said, I'm going to hide this course in the curriculum so that when we're ready, we will have a book for it. I think what the most interesting thing for the students who are studying now the history of Arab graphic design is the pride that they are feeling, knowing that they have a history.
The rare books and special collections library collection came mainly from donations from VIPs, scholars, presidents, and the main attraction was how we preserve our collection, keep it in environment control, the temperature, humidity. We have a conservation lab taking care of it and making it accessible for researchers, not just in Egypt, but worldwide by digitizing it and uploading it to the digital library, which is an open access for everybody to research.
Our collections really span the time from, say, I would say the late Mamluk period, where we have Quran, up until the 20th century. Our main focus is really on Egypt after the Napoleonic campaigns, so starting from 1800 perhaps. But it doesn't matter. I mean, we don't have examples of different time periods. By and large, though, the collection can focus on Egypt per se. Of course, there's some material from, say, Syria, Palestine, the Arabian Peninsula, North Africa, but the core is really Egypt.
There are main jewels of the crown of the Arabic Special Collections Library, mainly the collection of Napoleon expedition on Egypt, the description de l'Egypte, the 21 volumes, which are kept in a special room and actually made accessible for many researchers and scholars. It includes the history, the culture, the science of Egypt in the 19th and 18th and 19th century, in addition to travelers' accounts like David Roberts, Pascal Coste, and Prestavan. They are all very fascinating work. Before any software or technology, they were done by hand, passion, and their soul and dedication is appearing. It's the preservation for the art, for the history, for all scholars and generations to come in the future.
I find it very, very interesting to see what was done before even all the exposure of design that we see now. Everything is now out there, accessible, but back then people really took time to create every single piece. So when we go back to these manuscripts and the different archives and see what was graphic design done, how was it done back then, all the layouts, all the different techniques that they use, how they extended the letters to make a page look full, for example, and all the different material that we find on archives for example, music records, before it was very digital and very based on the digital world, but really manually done.
There is a place where they sell books since the times of Napoleon. So I went there twice per week, and then I just bought all newspapers beginning from the 50s till the late 80s. The initial idea was to do something out of this cinema poster culture, which you can buy here everywhere, but I didn't want to focus on the poster itself. And so I had the idea to go an extra way and to use those reproduction newspapers. So this was the initial idea.
With Cairo-politan, when the idea first came to Hussein in 2006, we wanted to create a contemporary pop souvenir that embodies more our day-to-day life and what people actually see and interact with when they come to Cairo, instead of the traditional pharaonic souvenir. Our products are a mix between stuff that we make entirely in-house and stuff that we have a couple of steps that need special professionalism in the crafts made outside and then coming inside so we can continue other steps.
My most favorite topic is reviving the traditional crafts in old faiths. I can see them hidden around the corner in Cairo, but nobody noticed them or give them attention. While they're really masterpieces and unique. They're sustainable, environment friendly, and actually teaching the generations to produce, not to consume all the time. How to put your taste, your soul, your memories.
So for example, the brooms, you can find people making the big brooms. So what we had in mind is going to these same craftsmen and telling them, okay, you need to make everything that you have learned over the past decades, but make it in a different scale. And this at the beginning was not really acceptable because they thought we are just like students or people, artists, crazy artists. But then when they started to see how often we are demanding like 1,000 each month, so they started to rely on us and actually started to pass on the techniques to their children again. After they thought that this is not going to go anywhere else and the craft is dying, when they found that no, actually people are still wanting this craft, maybe with some twists, they started to know, okay, this can bring money, this can excel our craftsmen, so we would start again reviving this.
So Arabic is an unusual language in some respects because it still remains legible for people today. I mean, the script itself has obviously changed a little bit since the 7th, 8th century, but by and large, it hasn't changed as dramatically as other scripts. The language too, the structure of the language has obviously changed in spoken form, but the written form has not. And the reason for that is that Arabic grammar is really built on top of the Quran as a base text.
الخط العربي يعتبر فن زي الرسم خالص يعني يعني الحروف بتاعته فيها يعني حاجات فنية شبه الرسم بالظبط. في اللوحات بالذات بستخدم اسلوب مختلف شوية عن الديزاين، ان هو مش بكتب جمل معينة، يعني مش لازم تبقى حاجة مقروءة. هو انا بستخدم الخط كلغة بصرية عايز اعبر بيها عن شعور معين، او عايز مثلا اخليها حاجه ابستراكت، فمش لازم يعني حاجه فنيه اكتر من ان هي تبقى حاجه ملموسه او مقروءه. يعني انا عايز ابين الفن في الخط، الفن في شكل الحروف، في شكل الاتصالات بتاعت الحروف، او مش لازم تبقى حتى متصله، ممكن تبقى حروف متفرقه عادي، بس يعني تكوين الحروف جنب بعض شكله مختلف شويه عن اللي احنا متعودين عليه، بس يعني مدي انطباع او شكل جديد.
Even though we have a lot more fonts now than we've had 10 years ago and 15 years ago, but still very few fonts capture the beauty of how the script naturally is written.
نصيحة إن أنت تخلص قوي للحرف، لأن الحروف دي بني آدمين. كبر 100 مرة الآي بتاعة الكمبيوتر هتلاقيها 100. أنا بقى كبر الآي بتاعة اللي هي حلوة برضه، إنما لما تكبر هتلاقيها يعني ضربات قلبي بتدق في الحرف. بني آدم كتب الحرف ده، ففي حياة، فيها روح الكتابة. الحروف بتتكلم وبتضحك. عندنا الحرف الواو اللي هو الثلث ده، بص له كده تلاقيه بيضحك، بص له في حتت تانية تلاقيه عينه قفلت وشكله وحش وبتاع، هات خطات نفسه تلاقيه كده. أنا كنت في 4-5 سنين كنت بحاول بقى أكتب، يعني كنت أنا الأول بكتب عن الاستعمار وبتاع، لأن كان في بورسعيد كانت مستعمرة، الكلام ده 47-48. كنا بندهن الإزاز بالأزرق عشان الغارات، وبنعملها بالزهرة، فأخدت الزهرة وكتبت بيها من التعاون مع الاستعمار والموت، مش عايز حد يروح يشتغل عندهم. طبعا بخش المدرسة في سن 6 سنين، ففي المدرسة أنا دفعت المصروف اللي أنا بقدم بيه على المدرسة في سنة أولى من شغلي اللي أنا بكتبه. عربية نقل، عربية بتاعت آيس كريم، عربية مش عارف إيه كده، باترينا بتاع الحلويات أكتب عليها وآخد فلوس. إعلان عندي لكل اللوحات دي مثلا، تقول لي أي من أحسن، فين أحسن لوحة فيهم؟ أقول لك لسه ما وصلتلهاش، لسه ما كتبتهاش.
Speaking about حدث الخط, which means in English the event of the type, it started nearly 4 years ago, back in 2022, where we have an idea, me with the other co-founders. We want all the calligraphers, all the designers, all the people who do type from all the different backgrounds to be just in one place, to have like a focal point to get all those people. They could learn from each other, educate from each other. This was the initial idea. We started to do it with getting all activities and activations that could help to do this purpose. Stage, panel discussions, talks, exhibitions, workshops, experimenting areas, live performances in market, and a lot of things. So this is what happened.
We're an Arabic studio. We take pride in being an Arabic studio. We try to push as much as we can boundaries with the clients to use Arabic typography, to have like an Arabic root inside the brand itself, inside the story, because most of the people that come sit with us speak with us in Arabic. Why do we communicate in English? Let's start normalizing that Arabic communication. Let's start normalizing Arabic heritage branding and stuff like this. But we take the twist of that we are young. We want the Arabic to be experimental. We want it to be more than just traditional Arabic.
We really had the vision to create for the design chamber something that is very experimental, but at the same time, it's very commercial in a way that means it's communication design. So it has a purpose, it is communicating something, but at the same time, it values all the experimentation of design. I like to call it commercial because I find this word actually valuable. I know it's a stigma in this field and people say, no, I don't want to do commercial work, but this is exactly what Ntsal is about. Having these two sides meet the commercial work and also the playful and experimental side.
My thesis project was about psychedelic sensory dining experience. I explored how your senses intertwine and work together, and how sometimes with sensory deprivation or sensory enhancement, you can enhance this or simulate this psychedelic experience without actually using psychedelics. And the dishes and the whole journey was inspired by certain rituals and psychedelic rituals that existed, whether in ancient cultures or even existing cultures nowadays, or even religions.
I was approached by the TED Countdown team, who were preparing for the 2030 cutting 50% of global carbon emissions. So that's their aim, is to push everybody to cut down on carbon emission by 2030. And they said, it's very daring, but let's do it. We're going to commission 10 artists in 10 different cities. It's locked down, but you can do a public installation in your city, and we will broadcast it to the world online. My message to the world regarding how to cut down emission was a very simple one. I told them, we gave humanity almost 5,000 years of culture, the pyramids being part of that gift. We hope that the world doesn't leave the rest of us with pyramids of garbage.
It's more that we try to lend a hand, we try to aid the community and the culture. Independent artists looking to publish, not being able to penetrate the very commercial market that is. I think producing 100 copies, 100, 200 copies for this artist sets the foot down for them in the market.
We found it up in the market that no one is doing like digital prints. So it's either fine arts with limited editions and super expensive art, or like retro movie posters and music posters. So we didn't find anyone selling what actually the graphic designers and visual artists are doing in the meantime. So we started with a bunch of friends who are graphic designer and visual artists, making some posters, We started displaying them in the store, and then we found a very good feedback. So we decided to turn it into a competition, design competition. It's this year was our 5th. We make an open call, people from all over Egypt and beyond. They submit their work. We do a jury, select a few, and then we start producing it to be in our permanent collection of posters.
Print is not dead. Press is still very vital and important. A person said to me before that now is the renaissance of print. So this is very interesting to explore it through Risograph. So people are really interested to come in and understand more about this very, let's say, niche type of printing here in Egypt, and coming to a very embracing culture and community within the studio that comes from students, basically are us, to other students, to other fellows. I think it's a positive impact.
I think a lot has happened in the past 15 years. I see a big jump, a big evolution, more educational programs opening up, more designers that are interested in creating amazing work are coming out of Cairo.
I can definitely say the scene is booming and there is a lot of talents, and that's always what I tell people. And I hope they all find jobs, because there are a lot of really, really good designers out there. Every year they're graduating.
It's just tip of the iceberg, and there's still the iceberg.